The name of this keynote speech is AI and the Future of Pharma, and it will be delivered by Jim Harris. He's a globally renowned expert on AI, GenAI, and disruptive innovation. And he's a #1 best-selling author. He was actually recently named as the Speaker of the Year 2024 by the largest CEO network in Canada. So ladies and gentlemen, please let's welcome him, Mr. Jim Harris.
Thank you, Laura. We're going to have some fun today. I'm going to only be speaking for about 20, 25 minutes. We're going to be looking at how AI is changing healthcare and pharmacy. And one of the things that's fun is the advanced voice feature of ChatGPT. What is the PPMA, Alex?
I am so excited.
PPMA is the Pakistan Pharmaceutical Manufacturers Association, representing the pharmaceutical industry in Pakistan.
Say that for me in Urdu, please, Alex.
जरूर, मैं ये उर्दू में कहूँगा. PPMA पाकिस्तान की दवासाजी की सनत की नुमाइंदा एसोसिएशन है.
So we're seeing AI being able to do incredible things. If we can have the slides up, that would be great. So it's wonderful to be at this beautiful hotel. Absolutely stunning. I'm going to be talking about AI, and we'll talk about dozens of applications, and this is the first one.
I am so excited to be joining you in Islamabad for the 8th Pakistan Pharma Summit. I'm going to be talking about AI and the future of pharma. Every single day, we're seeing mind-blowing new AI applications that are coming out that are literally transforming business and healthcare. We're seeing use cases with productivity increases of 10,000x and more. That's staggering. We're going to talk about dozens of AI apps, and this is the first one. मैं इस्लामाबाद में 8वीं पाकिस्तान फार्मा समिट में आपके साथ शामिल होने पर बेहद पुरजोश हूं। मैं मस्नूई ज़हानत और फार्मा के मुस्तकबिल के बारे में बात करने जा रहा हूं।
Anybody speak Mandarin here? Mandarin? No? Well, how is my accent? No accent. She.
Ich freue mich sehr, Sie in Islamabad zum 8. Pakistan Pharma Summit zu treffen. Estoy muy emocionado de unirme
Anybody speak Spanish? Spanish? Laura, where are you? How's my accent, Laura?
Voy a hablar sobre la inteligencia artificial. Je suis très enthousiaste.
Quelqu'un est français ici? Il y a des Philippe, mon accent? Ce n'est pas mal, merci bien. So why would I begin with this? In my city, there are 200 mother tongues spoken. I live in Toronto. We are the modern-day Constantinople of the world. What are the implications for sales and marketing if I can take my message and translate it into 120 languages? You're very concerned and interested in increasing exports. Well, what if I can take my pharmaceutical messaging and translate it into any language? And I can go to something like stockimage.com and download an image like this that says why in Urdu for only $500 US. It is so generous of them. Or I can go to ChatGPT 5 and say, create the word why in Urdu on a white piece of paper and pin it to a corkboard. And after 2 iterations, I have this that I can use for free for the rest of my life in PowerPoints. Will this change marketing imagery? So we've already done this with ChatGPT's advanced voice feature. I go to Barcelona every year for Mobile World Congress, the largest cell phone conference in the world. And I was listening to Hasab Demis Hassab, who just won the Nobel Prize. And in our bodies, we have proteins, of course, and that's how our organs communicate with each other. And a protein is just a string of amino acids that, when it's created, forms into a unique 3D pattern. Well, it used to take a PhD student an entire 5-year career to study one single protein. Well, Google's DeepMind AlphaFold program, an AI program, has done that in 2 seconds. So from 5 years of PhD time to 2 seconds, that is changing medicine. And that's why Demis won the Nobel Prize. So when you do the math on this, from 5 years to 2 seconds, that is a billion-x increase in productivity. I feel a Dr. Evil moment coming on. A billion-x. So this is why Demis won the Nobel Prize. And Demis is now saying, we're going to take that same AI and apply it to pharmacological products that could prevent cancer at stage 0. So what one part of a protein goes rogue and creates cancer at stage 0, and then let's find a pharmacological product that will bind to that one part of the protein at stage 0. Would that be important for humanity? And your reason you only want to bind to one part is if you bind to 3 parts, you get 2 side effects. So we are at the dawn of a new age of healthcare and pharma.
Cancers, cancer tumors, little fragments of those tumors float around in your blood. So you can do early cancer detection. If you can do using AI, you can do early cancer detection with a blood test. And using AI to look at the blood test, you can find the cancers that are actually seriously threatening the person. So we can, again, cancer diagnosis using AI has the promise of just being a simple blood test. Then beyond that, once we gene sequence that cancer tumor, you can then vaccinate the person, design a vaccine for every individual person to vaccinate them against that cancer. And you can make that vaccine, that mRNA vaccine, you can make that robotically, again, using AI in about 48 hours. So imagine early cancer detection, the development of a cancer vaccine for your particular cancer aimed at you, and have that vaccine available in 48 hours. This is the promise of AI and the promise of the future.
So that was Larry Ellison, and this is really the exciting time that we're entering into. AI is going to have an impact on every single function in an organization. So we can talk about this, and I'm going to be with you all day if you have any questions over lunch. Who would have thought a tiny little virus would change the world? And we have to look at what are the great things that it has done. And one of them is drive telemedicine. So in China, 400 million people use Ping a Good Doctor, so they can access their doctor on their smartphone. In Canada, I have to wait 6 or 8 weeks to get an appointment with my doctor, and then she refers me to a lab to have a test and a medical, like a specialist, and 3 months later, I get to see the specialist. Well, wouldn't it be better with telemedicine to just see a doctor today about what my symptoms are, and then go to a lab today, and then have the results back in 2 days, and then talk to the doctor online again? This is the benefit that COVID has given us. I don't know about you, but did my doctor read the 7,000 peer-reviewed articles that came out this morning? Did your doctor read, did you read the 7,000 peer-reviewed articles? No. Well, you see, I want AI with my doctor. So right now in the United States, if they use AI, a hospital can be sued. But I want you to imagine Philippe and I are in a car accident and we go to the hospital and we've hit our heads, we get a scan, but the technician has 30 scans to read beforehand. And, I have a brain bleed and die. An AI can read those 30 scans instantly and triage the patient and say, we need to treat Jim first because we see a brain bleed. Say that fast 10 times, geez. A brain bleed. So we will actually see a reversal. We will see hospitals in the US sued if they don't use AI. This is in Singapore, where I can go into this booth and have an interaction by telemedicine with a doctor. And then they can say, okay, well, here's the medicine you need. And boom, it's in something right there. So imagine we could have in this beautiful hotel for Western people, Western medicines that they want or need, but the general population might not want those, and different dispensaries that are available 24/365. I came here on a plane, and before I got on that plane, the pilot and co-pilot tested every single system. They checked everything. But I only go to my doctor once a year. What if we had real-time, continuous medicine on my smartphone? So this is an Oura ring, and it gives me all the data. Laura lost hers, apparently, on the way here. I don't know how her flight was. She's very upset because it's expensive. But this gives me all the data continuously. Or what about this? This was a winner of the Innovation Awards at the Consumer Electronics Show, and our urine highlights 20 different metrics that we can see in real time. How is my body performing? What do I need to pay attention to? This is the smallest camera in the world, and it's getting put into pills. Many people don't like a colonoscopy. And so you swallow this pill, and it has 2 cameras and lights and a Wi-Fi broadcaster radio, and you put a receiver on your hip, and it takes more than 10,000 photos as it goes through your system. And the great thing for the manufacturer is it's a single-use device. And it can actually, then they take AI and look at all the images and say, from the secretion of bile in your lower intestine, that looks like it is precancerous. So it's before you even have any symptoms, you can find out using AI. We have had discussion already about the cost of genomics. And the very first genome cost more than $2.7 billion and took 13 years to sequence. And last night, Philippe was telling me a friend of his got his genome sequenced for $10, and it takes hours. So $2.7 billion to $10, we're going to see a revolution in personalized medicine like Larry Ellison was talking about in that video clip. I don't know if you're aware, but this device has $10 billion of 1980 consumer electronic value embedded in it, and I get this phone for $1,000. And so this is why we're seeing, now that's adjusted for inflation, right? But that's why we're seeing the medicalization of the smartphone. I'm carrying a supercomputer with me at all times. And so we will see more medicalization of the smartphone, where my whole health is monitored, whether it's an Oura ring or the urine test. I can take a high-res picture of a retina, and I can tell the gender and age of the individual using AI to analyze it. I can tell what the individual's blood pressure is. I can tell whether they're a smoker and whether they have risk of a stroke or a heart attack. I don't know if you saw this, but during the pandemic, the University of Cambridge developed an app that I could just breathe or cough, and it would tell me with more than 90% accuracy whether I had COVID. So, then you go get the strip test. And my mother-in-law had cancer, stage 4 breast cancer. She went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "You have cancer." Once she heard those words, she did not hear one more word the doctor said for the next 10 minutes. How can the patient follow a course of medicine or action if they can't even hear after they hear the word cancer? So we use Otter. Otter transcribes spoken word into text in many different languages. There's also Fathom and Fireflies. So we Otter every single conversation, whether we're at our own doctor or whether we're supporting a friend who has medical challenges with them, so that the patient can actually review what's happened. We're going to see more of this. We'll skip this because we're timing out. 100,000 people die in the US every year because of adverse drug reactions. My mother had Alzheimer's. She did not know what day of the week it was, let alone what medicine she was taking. So you can take the names of all these medicines and put them into ChatGPT and say, tell me which medicines are contraindicated. Because the heart doctor prescribes certain things and the Alzheimer doctor prescribes other things, and they don't pay attention to what each other is doing. So how do we help patients with these powerful new tools reduce? Now it's 100,000 people who die, but there are 3.5 million people who fall sick and go to hospital because of ADRs. So this is the Chief Product Officer. And by the way, my time clock is not here. Can anybody give me a... Haroon, how many more minutes do I have? Let me know. This is the Chief Product Officer of OpenAI. His name's Kevin Weil. And I interviewed him in Las Vegas about 3 months ago. And I asked Kevin, what are you most excited about? And he said, AI personalized tutoring. And he said, by 2030, AI will help an individual. Thank you. Apparently my time is up. AI will help an individual learn 100 times faster and better. So imagine your children could learn 100 times faster and better. Imagine you could learn 100 times faster and better. This is the promise of AI, and it's right now. So my time is up. I want to thank you. It's such an honor to be here at this event. Oh, if anybody wants, let me just go to the, I'm just going to go to, there's 2 slides I want to highlight. So if people want to connect with me on LinkedIn, get out your phone. This is a QR code, and we'll connect on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn doesn't show you these numbers anymore, but your network will instantly grow by 27 million people. Woohoo! And if you'd like to download a dozen different resources that are free on AI, just take a picture of this QR code, and after, like during one of the breaks or lunch, fill out these 75 seconds of questions, and you can download a PDF that will have 12 different AI resources. So it's been such an honor to be here. Oops. And I'd like to turn it back to Laura Rocher. Come please up. Laura. And I'm so sad you lost your Aura ring.